Now we will have the lecture by Dr. Praveen Kumar Dhuvatpare, it is preventable blindness amongst persons with certified visual impairment in tribal districts of central India.
Hello, good morning, all of you. I am thankful to Scientific Society AIOS for this opportunity. I have no conflict of interest to disclose. This is outline of my presentation. As we all know, visual impairment is a significant health problem with a large burden on person, family, society, and economical burden to country as well. And this visual impairment can range from mild to severe. So to cover that range, Government of India in 2018 had given a gadget notification in which it had categorized into two subcategories, two groups: low vision and visual impairment and blindness. Low vision is something with best corrected visual acuity between 6 by 18 to 3 by 60 and visual fields less than 40 degrees, central 40 degrees to up to 10 degrees. And blindness can either be total absent of sight, or it can be best corrected visual acuity less than 3 by 60 and visual field less than central 10 degrees. The majority of causes in literature covers all the causes which can be easily treatable like cataract, uncorrected refractive error, or it can be non-treatable like macular diseases, and few of them can be avoidable like glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, corneal disorders, and ARMD. However, majority of literature primarily focus on the treatable causes, and very few studies have been done to focus on the causes of permanent visual impairment. So we needed to analyze those causes. So in our tertiary care institute at Government Medical College Gondia, we conducted a study in which we studied the clinical profile of person with visual impairment, and we focused on the causes of preventable causes of blindness. Ours was a retrospective study conducted at our institute. We studied the case records of last 1 year. We had included the case records of both low vision as well as blindness candidates. Person who had applied but were not entitled as per government regulations were not included. And we found among our sample size of 815 candidates that majority of them were between the age group of 11 to 50, and there was a huge male to female disparity with 2:1 ratio. Among the common categorization, the one-eyed patient with 30% visual impairment were almost 41%, and 18% each were from the 40% visual impairment and 100% visual impairment. The exact clinical data was not, clinical categorization was not possible, so we divided into following groups, and we can see the majority of them, means almost 61% of them had a congenital cause, 17% was there for traumatic causes, and other non-traumatic acquired causes were there in almost 12 to 13%. In male, the traumatic causes were more commoner than females. In congenital causes, the commonly encountered diseases were congenital diseases like anophthalmos, microphthalmos with colobomas, hereditary maculopathies, nystagmus, congenital treated cases of congenital cataract and glaucoma, but despite of treatment, the amblyopia was there. High degree of refractive error in early childhood. In traumatic, we could see a majority of treated cases of retinal detachment, scarred corneoscleral tear with maybe RD or strabismus, which could not be further treated, perforation associated endophthalmitis, thalassus bulba, evisceration, and traumatic optic neuropathy. In healed, in other non-traumatic acquired cases, healed keratitis, mostly the childhood keratitis, diabetic retinopathy, uveitis, end-stage glaucomas, scarred ARMDs, optic neuritis, optic atrophy due to other causes like post-neurosurgical cases, and complicated intraocular surgery were the commonly encountered one. So we try to focus more so on the preventable part rather than congenital part. So we could find that lack of awareness that majority of these diseases could have been treated very early, and because of that the delayed presentation, and if they presented incomplete treatment, just congenital cataract surgery has been done, spectacle taken once and not followed up, was the major reason for amblyopia. Traumatic etiology was more prevalent in our area, and the substandard workplace protective measures was which was actively inquired into during that recording. So we can say that majority of the candidates had not weared any protective measures at work. An additional observation was that the 41% of the candidates were one-eyed candidates, who were given 30% of visual impairment certification, so they were lacking the social benefit despite of substandard vision. So we tried to focus mainly on them, what is special in one-eyed patient, and we could see as opposed to congenital versus traumatic, the traumatic cause is almost 2.5 times commoner than the general population which we could find. A similar study was done by Anita et al. In Bihar and published in 2019. They also find the macular pathology as the commonest cause. They had divided the causes in the different age groups, and the most commonly defined causes are the similar one, and the avoidable causes were congenital cataract, complicated cases of congenital cataract surgery and amblyopia, missed amblyopia management. A similar study conducted in Kashmir also reveals that unilateral cases are much more commoner, and trauma is a significant cause of unilateral blindness. We went through meta-analysis published in the recognized Lancet journal. The globally recommended causes are same as in the other literatures. However, we differ slightly that trauma cases are more in our study than the global literatures. As we very well know, we had our few limitations for our study. This being hospital-based study, it may not be generalizable to population and retrospective, so exact clinical classification was not possible. So I would like to conclude that the congenital and hereditary are the most common causes of permanent visual impairment. Acquired causes are similar to globally recognized causes. However, in our scenario, ocular trauma was a very significant risk factor of avoidable permanent visual impairment. 42% of visually impaired were lacking social benefits because of current government nomenclatures. So these are my personal recommendations from our study, that there is a very huge need of better awareness in general population that refractive error, squint, congenital diseases like congenital cataract, glaucoma and amblyopia must be treated earliest. A regular eye examination is must in a preschool children, patient with diabetic mellitus, family history of glaucoma, old age patient, and everyone knows this, but the mandatory protocol should be followed by the physicians and pediatrician. There is a need of improved workplace protective measures. Pediatric ophthalm and vitreoretinal surgical setups should be available in government or charitable scenario, which may improve the outcome in particular diseases. Government schemes are there to provide the financial support, but a majority of our patients were not knowing that, and that's why they had delayed presentation. There is further need of insight into prevailing government norms for one-eyed patients. Yes, these are recommendations based on one center study, so a large scale study is required. These are my references. I am thankful to my team. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, for this. It's a very good concept, and coming from your area, Bhandara,
Gondia.
Sorry, Gondia. It's like a tribal area. So you do not have like whether they have come from tribal group or any
no,
other group?
That data is not available because some of our patients are like from suburban area, some are for really rural and tribal, and few were like this is a very residential place, so they are working somewhere else. They have come here just for certifications.
So any barriers you could come out with, like if you know what are the barriers?
Like
probably
from our recommendation, what we tried to do was like there was a social gathering of school children, school teachers. So we come across already in government setup, RBSK is doing their work, but still the school primary school teachers are the first one to recognize those, and those are that much literate, so we conveyed to that. And in our institute level, when there are some staff research society committee meeting, we insisted the physicians and pediatricians primarily to refer us these cases, and really the referral had increased. At least to our institute we have tried, and through this forum maybe we will do to better.
Sure. Any questions for him? Okay. So it's good to know that you are working on integration of primary eye care with primary health care. That's fun. And second, what you have done is pretty good. I would suggest to have do a barrier study in your area if you can do that. So that will give you what are the barriers. So you can look into this in future and work on those barriers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Round of applause, please. This will be for everyone. We only